Hi everybody, it's week 8. We're back to our papers for a week and then we take spring break off because I'm guessing you want to break. I want to break. Deal. Okay, now this week though, got to work this week. And I'm going to go over the week and show you one or two things. I have videos down below. You want to watch both of these. This is more about argument. This is giving some examples of paper ideas or papers from another class and some revisions that were suggested. And typically, right, if I'm talking about somebody else's paper, it's valuable because there's probably something similar that might be going on in your paper, something to look for. So the first thing though we have to do, and if you haven't read my feedback yet, make double sure to do this. This is the Healthy Attitude Towards Work Oath, which I have created after reading about growth and fixed mindset. Now, if you go to almost any elementary school or middle school in Minnesota, I think you're going to find growth mindset things. This is like, believe you have your intelligence is malleable, right? You can learn more. Now, this is accurate, but it's actually worthless for teaching. That's a longer story. I have the research to back that comment up. Now, one of the things that doesn't work with a growth mindset is when a person, right, believes, yes, if I work hard, I can learn something. But their self-worth is tied to the outcome. They will self-sabotage. They will actually act in ways that go against learning. They'll even be more likely to lie or cheat because, right, this paper is me. I want to put the best foot forward. So that actually can work against you if you think my paper is me. And it's not. Your paper is something that you've done, right? And I know awesome students who write C papers. And I know, wow, actually, I don't know any terrible students, meaning like I've never known anybody long enough to go, oh my gosh, you're terrible. Most of my students are pretty dang awesome. But I am sure at some point there was a student in my class who wrote great papers and got A's and was terrible. Kicked their dog, stole from little old ladies, right? So your grade is not you. And so I developed this healthy attitude towards my work oath, and I would like you to repeat this after me, no matter how silly you feel or who is around. So this draft may be very good. You went back. I didn't hear you, so we're going to start over. This draft may be very good. It also may be terrible. Either way, here's a long one. The quality of this draft has nothing to do with my self-worth as a person. A high grade doesn't make me a good person. A low grade doesn't make me a bad person. Say this if you're not. I'll start over. A grade represents the evaluation of the work I did at a specific time. That's it. Separating my worth from the assignment gives me the freedom to see it honestly. So let's tear this thing up and make it better. All right. I'm not kidding. Say this out loud. It will have more impact. And this is both for you and your paper, and to think about when you're giving somebody else feedback, which is the second half of this week. One of the things about being in Minnesota, for those of you who are, this is an online class, in Minnesota, most of us who grew up here have been really trained to lie, to not hurt somebody's feelings. So we read something, we don't get it, and we say, oh, that's nice, right? Somebody gives us a casserole. We try it. It tastes like crap. We say, that's interesting, right? Because we don't want to hurt their feelings. And think about it. If you don't tell somebody their casserole tastes like crap, they are going to make other people eat that crap again and again and again. And if you're in Minnesota, right? And everybody keeps saying, that's interesting, when they should be saying, this is way too salty or whatever, prefaced with, hey, thanks for making this. I bet you put a lot of time into it. It tastes like crap, right? They're going to keep feeding people crap. If you read a paragraph and you don't understand it and you don't tell that person, they are going to keep writing paragraphs that don't make sense. You have not done your job. Do it with respect, of course, and and be direct. I don't understand paragraph 2 when you say this. And maybe there's a reason, like because earlier you said something different. Or maybe it's just those two sentences are very confusing. I think you're trying to say this, but I can't tell. So you help people by letting them know where you're confused in your paper, where you're bored when you read their paper, all of that stuff. And it takes practice, but just know they've read the oath, you've read the oath, hopefully you've both said it out loud. So when somebody gives you feedback and says, I don't understand this paragraph, I can't find a topic sentence, you'll be like, oh, yeah, this paragraph could be better. Thanks. Now I know to focus my time on this. Okay, as you can see, I get passionate about feedback because too often feedback is garbage and you have 3 people or 4 people or 5 people sitting in a group saying, that's nice. I like it. And then I read the paper and I'm like, wait a second, nothing connects to the thesis. How did all these other people not see that? Which you will notice I'm giving you the first feedback. So for the next 4 days or less, right, depending on how you work on it, you're going to make those revisions based on what I said. So if you follow that, you know you should be pretty more on track than you were at the beginning. Now you'll have other people see it. Make sure that you turn in a new paper for people to see and not the one you gave to me. Number one, I'll be able to see it because I see everything if you do it on the computer. And 2, that does you no good. This is the time to put in my feedback. Email me if you have questions on it. And then you're turning in a better version to have your fellow students look at. And that's all I'm going to say about that. All right. Okay. In case you're wondering, that was a very bad Forrest Gump impersonation. If I get warmed up, I can be much better at it. Jenny was my girl. Okay, but stay focused, Steve. 2 videos. Watch those. Do your revision, right? Watch them. Read this. And then once you revise, so this is everybody who's turned in a paper. And I'm guessing there might be over the next couple of days a few people who get a paper in. Great. You know, I'm going to put you in this group first and then that group. And then we'll see if we have to add anybody. Because the groups are pretty small. But I didn't, mathematically, it was either have a little bit of small group or have a couple really big groups. So I went with this. By Thursday night, your job will be to post your revised paper. And how that'll work is, so you go to, say that's you, start a thread. You can skip this because don't worry about it. I'm pointing to the screen. You can't see it. We're just going to go by names. I simplified things. So you can say my paper, and then you might say something like, I really like the part about I really like the part about how hope can be, okay, get out of there. How hope can be a negative, but I know my introduction doesn't grab the reader's attention. Please give me any suggestions. Now, no matter what somebody writes here, you of course are going to comment on the entire paper. Okay, scroll down. And okay, I just went in and made a quick change. You'll notice the group thing, I got rid of it so there'll be no confusion. So my paper, say if there's something specific you want people to look at, and then you have to scroll down to add attachment, hit the little triangle, now upload, right? So I'm gonna go, here's my Century stuff. Oh, I'm sure, all right, there's my Century, Spring, English 1022. I'm just gonna, there's the paper, right? It's the syllabus, but you get the idea. So hit the little triangle, upload the file, right? And then hit post. Now, when I'm in that group, right, and I go there, loading, loading. Okay, so now when I click on that discussion and it's time to give feedback, right, I just click on it and actually it showed up down here, right? Click on there, boom, and here comes the paper. And, oh, right, there's the paper and I can read it. Now, one of the things you could do while you're reading, right, if you wanted to, you could go to, well, I'm going to save this for the next video, right, which will be on Thursday. But we can go for track changes. You can write on this, or you can, in your reply, be giving feedback. But we'll say more later. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Okay, everything is set up, right? And those are the places to go by Thursday. So that gives you today, tomorrow, all day Thursday. Email me any questions. I know this, people say this, how do you do this? Have fun with this paper. And by have fun, I mean, consider that you have an opportunity right now to explore an aspect of what it means to be human. How often in the past, or do you think in the future, somebody's going to say, hey, why don't you take some time and just think about what it means to be alive, right? The challenges you face, how we deal with it, something like that. This is rich material. So I hope you dive in, have a good time getting more specific, and another video later on in the week, and send me emails if you got questions.